Hi, this is my first YouTube video, believe it or not, and it definitely looks like a first YouTube video because the audio is going to be crap and visual is going to be crap as well, but at least I got my movie wall. So the reason why I want to make this video is because yesterday it's a Skywalker. I got this yesterday at Target. Now, I didn't abuse the shelter in place. I had to go there to buy food and whatnot, and I picked this up when I was there, so I didn't abuse it. Don't arrest me, Gavin. Uh, with this movie, it's definitely my least favorite of the Disney sequel trilogy. I found that I know it's going to be controversial to a lot of people. I don't care, but The Last Jedi is my favorite of this trilogy. Last Jedi, Force Awakens, Rise of Skywalker. With this movie, I saw it 3 times in the theaters. Actually, oh, just a heads up, I'm going to digress and be all over the place. So please bear with me if you even want to watch this video. I know I'm beating myself up, but whatever. With this movie, I saw it 3 times in the theater. And the first time watching it, I was really mixed on it. There were things I liked and things I disliked, so I will be talking about those. And I'll also be talking about an idea, opinion that I've been conjuring up for the past couple of days about creators and directors taking the wrong idea of what makes Star Wars special, but I'll get to that towards the end. So the things I liked about the movie, also just heads up, I'm probably going to miss a crap ton of things in the movie, so, bear with me. That's becoming a common thing, bear with me. The thing I liked about the first 5 minutes were actually pretty awesome. With Kylo like hacking and slacking the guys, that was pretty awesome. He finds the Sith Wayfinder and he's able to go to the planet Exegol, where Palpatine is. And if you wanted to know how Palpatine got there, well, you can pick up that novelization book because creators couldn't explain it even in the movie. Well, there's that guy that says cloning, but it's more of like a question, but turns out it actually was cloning. Any case, so if you thought Palpatine was creepy in the original trilogy, or, even the prequels, especially Revenge of the Sith, times that by like 1,000 because he's literally like a zombie. His eyes are all bleached out and, he's decaying. Fingers are all, looks like my fingers when I chew them. So he's definitely on his last limb, but extremely creepy and spooky looking. Especially the Exegol itself, Sith Temple wise. I'm assuming it's Sith Temple, but just all dark and mysterious, and lightning flashing that makes you go into a seizure. But when it does come to Palpatine, I'm kind of mixed on it. Now, the thing I like about Palpatine being back is because The Force Awakens was actually my first Star Wars movie I saw in the theater. I'm 18 years old, so I don't have any recollection at all of the prequels when they were out in the theaters. So to see Palpatine on the big screen for the first time was actually pretty neat and enjoyable. The thing that I don't care for is, does he have to be there? As we didn't even have a clue as to whether or not Palpatine was going to be in the movie, in this trilogy, excuse me. Especially when Last Jedi, it looks like Kylo Ren is going to be the main villain. But I'll actually get back to that point in a little while. So you go off and Palpatine's like, oh, I died before, stuff like that. So we know he did die, but he's just back because he's a clone. This video is a mess. So to go back to other things I liked, I really enjoyed the continual relationship between Kylo and Rey. Not because they kiss at the end, but in terms of just continual character development between the two, in terms of conversation and storytelling, and where they are in the universe and whatnot. Another thing that I really enjoyed was Kylo Ren seeing his father Han Solo again, and that replaying his dialogue, or at least close to the dialogue he had with Solo in Force Awakens. That I really enjoyed for Kylo to witness that, to redeem himself, and then help Rey at the end. Now, I know not everybody in Star Wars has to be redeemed, but that comes back to my point about The Last Jedi, to where I was thinking, like, okay, he's going to be the main villain and stuff. The more I think about it, the more I'm really actually happy that he wasn't, because he was able to redeem himself and, save Rey at the end. Like, absolutely, they could have just made him the main villain and, throw Palpatine out in the distance, But I was really glad that, Kylo was able to redeem himself. The things that I don't like the pacing. It feels like I don't even get a breath in terms, I'm pretty much beating a dead horse because everybody's talked about this movie already, but, scene to scene to scene, section to section, it's just rapid fire. Like, you don't really get a whole lot of time to invest yourself into a scene because you're already moving off to another one, which is fine for a lot of people, it's whatever. But for me, it's like I would like to spend more time in certain places. So yeah, the pacing I didn't really care for at all. The big one that, this isn't a spoiler, or if it is, spoiler, I didn't really care for Rey being Palpatine's granddaughter. And the first time watching it, I threw my hands up. I'm like, well, JJ, why? But with that, I'm pretty mixed on, I know, like, a lot of people like to, really dive deep into things they don't like. Like, if somebody didn't like Rey being a Palpatine, they spend, like, days, weeks, just thinking about it, like, oh my god, that was stupid, make, like, a bunch of videos, whatever. With me, when it comes to something like that, and just, like, movies in general that I might not like, or, other people might not like, I don't dwell on it at all. Like I said, I didn't care for it at all the first time watching the movie, but then the next day, I didn't care less. I'm like, yeah, that was the movie, yeah. Whatever. There's a lot more bigger things in life to be concerned and worried about, as opposed to a movie where we're wielding laser swords and old dudes are shooting lightning out of their fingertips. So the reason why I'm really mixed on Rey being a Palpatine is because I actually enjoyed Rey being nobody. I thought that was an incredible storytelling experience that, here's this person that, comes from nothing. Their parents sold her for drinking money, and, she works her way up and establishes herself. I thought that was an awesome, storytelling idea and, tale. As opposed to, oh, you got your powers because, old grandpappy, Palpatine is your granddad. It's like, okay, so I guess that throws out that storytelling about her being a nobody. But this movie does try and connect that piece to what Kylo was talking about. It's like, oh, we sold you off for drinking money. But then in this movie, it's like, oh, they sold you off for drinking money because, you're Palpatine's granddaughter. We want to save you. So they didn't throw it out entirely, but the meaning and message behind her being a nobody was significantly altered. So yeah, this is gonna be garbage. So yeah, those are just some of the pros and cons, and like I said, it's Star Wars. Stop, bashing on people if they like a movie but you don't like a movie. That's what gets me. It's just sad seeing people at each other's throats if they like this Star Wars movie but they don't. But the person bashing them didn't like the Star Wars movie, so they gotta tell them off. I think that's just incredibly sad. The fact that, like, people are having to defend a movie that they like, it's just sad to see. But, so to get back to that idea about what I've been thinking about for the past couple of days in terms of taking the wrong idea, I think this is just my opinion, so it's probably not even true or correct, just my opinion, but I think like Lucas and then now Disney and their creators and staff and directors, I think they kind of if you're Lucas, took the wrong idea of what made Star Wars so special. I think, for me, it goes back to 1980 when we find out that Vader is Luke's father, and the general, you know, sensation that it got from so many people, like, oh my god, that's insane, that's insane, you know, and now, you know, it's the biggest plot twist in cinema history. I just my opinion, but I think Lucas looked at that and went, okay, this is what people like about Star Wars, or this is what makes it special as opposed to, you know, any other franchise. Because then we kind of see that in Return of the Jedi with Luke being Leia's brother, and then the prequels with seemingly everybody in the original trilogy, notable exceptions, you know, Anakin, Obi-Wan, Yoda, having a role or, you know, a connection in the prequel trilogy. Like, you know, Anakin Skywalker building C-3PO, or, you know, Chewbacca meeting Yoda, or, you know, hey, remember that bounty hunter Boba Fett? Yeah, his dad was part of this huge clone army, so it's like, okay, you know, for me, like I said, I don't really dwell on things a whole lot, so I don't really care, but you do see that, though. It's like, it become, as the years, decades progress, more and more connections you see in Star Wars, and that harnesses with this movie to where I think JJ looked at it and went, okay, what makes Star Wars special is a connection. So we're gonna make Rey a Palpatine. Now, like I said, it's just my opinion. I can be completely wrong, whatever. But that's just kind of like how I saw it. I'm like, I think this might harness back to 1980 because we see so many connections. You know, like it or not, Star Wars is full of connections. So that's how I saw it, was just this continuation of directors and creators kind of taking the wrong idea of what they think makes Star Wars special, when in my opinion there's a lot more grander things that do make Star Wars special as opposed to a connection. So yeah, that's basically all I have to say. Like I said, this video's crap, you know. I'm beating myself up, you know, saying all this stuff, but I don't know, it's just something I wanted to talk about and bring forth in the first video. Thank you so much for bearing with me, and I hope you have a good day and stay safe and be healthy. Okay, bye bye.